Welcome to Tinker Club. It is another holiday edition with Leigh-Anne, Nugent, and
Micah Adler.
welcome. So, Tinker Club, we are here to really we're tinkering as we go and we're learning in public. The idea is to reveal what we're working on and the our thinking process and the tools that we're using and share what we're learning, and we do this in a safe space. So some of the things that I've been tinkering with is, in the last couple of weeks I've been in the weeds selling projects, thankfully winning some projects and then converting those projects into manageable delivery items. And, becoming a Salesforce implementation shop is not really the goal of my business. However, I've got some customers who really need some support and want to get my support in this before we start thinking about transforming their business. So some low hanging fruit as we start transitioning into what the future is going to look like. But what's ironic is that I find myself exactly in the same position my customers are in, where our shop is in a state of chaos because we're moving from the systems that I had 5 years ago and pulling them forward to today, which, and again, it's also not going to be the be all end all of where I want my business to be. So it's an interim kind of place. So I'm about to reveal the kind of chaos that we have. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. And Micah, what have you got planned for us today?
Yeah, I'm just using continuously testing out the agent for ChatGPT, and then also I've updated my website. So it's like a mobile app kind of, and now it's using Google to do the analytics. So I wanted to show like a little bit of that. So that's what I'm
Very
up to.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll kick us off this time. We did want to talk about Slack first, but not, I mean, we wanted to talk about Slack, but I'm going to start with the what I've got going on in my Salesforce right now, and then how I'm thinking about running this Salesforce delivery. And ultimately, I don't think it's going to be, anyways, we've got bigger things to discuss in terms of which business entity is going to be delivering this service going forward. If it's going to be Tinkertime Labs or Elias, which is my business partner's business, which actually this service fits better under her business. So we're in it right now. So I'll reveal what we did when we had LAN CRM Consulting Inc., where our whole thing was Salesforce implementation and delivery practice. So what we had was a combination of Salesforce with Milestones PM Plus. And I actually had at that time a number of Salesforce licenses, including what did we call Milestones PM licenses. So since we closed the business, I've lost all those licenses. But because I'm still a Salesforce partner, I have access to Salesforce. We have two licenses. So myself and Lisa, my business partner, we've got access to this. So what we're now using this for is to capture our customers, our opportunities, and I still have the data model from Milestones, but we're not using all the automations, and even the visual force pages are still there too. But so we're not really totally using it as much, but I'm still using the data model. So the process worked. We would create an account, we would create an opportunity. The interesting thing about the opportunity was that I was able to create a statement of work through the products that, and like the opportunity products, the number of hours and the weeks. And when I would create that opportunity, so I would just say send Sal, we would have this email template, not insert merge field, apologies. And it would include what was in scope for the service and the total number of hours and the total cost for this project, and then a PDF that would be attached to the email, and we would send it to the customer for signature. There would be a different one that we would send for customers, but ultimately, this is what it would be. when the opportunity is closed as one, it would convert it into a project. So here was the pro bono one that I did for Rosie, even though we didn't like charge for it, I'm still need to track the project itself. In fact, we're actually completed right now. And what's interesting, yeah, we're completed. And I didn't break down all the tasks or whatever, but that was where we are right now is if I have consultants working with me, and I do, how do I distribute all of the tasks? So one idea that we had was maybe let's just connect with Slack. We have for every project, I now have a Slack channel that I embedded in here. And I decided to invest in Slack by getting that AI version. So if I punch out to my Slack channel, I now see one cool thing is you get an email that your clients can use to like send emails and copy this channel. So I've got this, like the latest email that I got was from Dan, and he asked specifically about creating checklists. So at least I have that kind of visibility in my Slack channel. And this Slack channel is connected to a project. And what's interesting is when you create a channel, they've got these pre-template things now that include certain things like what's the like they can do this AI summary. They've got this project overview canvas, and they've got this concept of a project tracker. So in this project tracker, this is where I started to break down all of the tasks and the deliverables that we have to work on. So as you can see, I'm in progress. These ones are actually true. I'm overdue on all of these tasks, but we need to build all of these things. So the challenge that I have now with this is now I have to think about how do we consolidate these tasks? Because one of the requirements that I have is if my client calls me to say, where are we in the delivery of these, in the delivery of this project? Where are we? Anybody in this in my company should be able to know where we are. So this doesn't tell us. It says, well, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I can see people are using some things, and it sounds like we've got a really good flow redesign, but there's no update, which therefore means we're behind. So this is the kind of chaos world that I'm living in right now that I'm looking to streamline and ultimately just get to a place of the key goal that I want to have is if my client calls in or my client should maybe have access to this channel, they should be able to see what the current status is of this project. So what can this AI summary do to tell us what is the overarching summary of this project? Right now, it's not really telling you. It's just like, what is this really saying?
Yeah.
Right. So we're still in that middle place of the forming, probably the forming phase of is this really going to work? Are we going to commit to this process? Is this process really delivering the outcomes that we're really looking for? And this is the whole thing about choosing the right technology versus choosing the process and then getting the outcomes, regardless of what technology we use. It's about the process and being outcomes driven. So the key outcome that I have is one is collaborate amongst the team and delegate the individual tasks. And then the second thing is making a succinct status update that's customer facing so that every day, every week, they know where we at with the project as a whole. Still haven't gotten there.
It's very difficult because systems are gated and it makes it difficult to collaborate and then figuring out, like, for example, you're using Google Workspaces, which
Mm-hmm.
is useful because it has Google Drive and it
Uh-huh.
has everything inside there. The question is,
Mm-hmm.
how do you unify all this data? How do you unify all the different documents? For me, I'm using Google Spaces within Google Chat. And
Okay.
that's just another way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It has its limitations,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a capability to be able to invite external people without having them pay. So
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, but I mean, it's not ideal either. It's just kind
Yeah.
of like it's another way around where you want to unify all of your data, all of your documents.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that too, right? So I thought maybe I could just do it in a Google Doc, right? And now just share this doc. That's kind of how we did the Mentor app before. We just all worked in a Google Doc and we just swarmed all of the items and people would just, work within here. And you're right, we could just add anybody to this. And then if anything, someone could just type in like update as of today, right? And then at the very, very top, you just have a status update and someone just commits. Again, it's the process, right? And so you start with the process and it could be people. And then until you get that well paved path of exactly what is that person updating? What are they saying? How is it being communicated? And yeah, like it might be a better way. It sounds really antiquated in the way we work, especially if we're in technology. But to me, this is the best way. Like we have to be outcomes focused first. And yeah, I'm not even convinced that Slack is going to be the one that's going to work for me because I could still have Salesforce link here. Like Salesforce is linking to this document, and I just, yeah, I'm having a bit of the chat piece is interesting. I never considered making it just using Google Chat because
Yeah.
we have that as part of the workspace.
Yeah, so within Google Chat, there's a thing called Spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So within that Google Space workspace, you
Mm-hmm.
can actually do tasks and then you can share tasks, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
cool. But again, and you can share documents and all the documents, if they're in Google, then it just makes sense. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like you'll see. So if you look on the left-hand side, browse spaces towards the bottom.
This is how long it's been. Like it's October 2019. Look how long this has been.
Yeah, where it says browse, yeah, browse spaces.
Yeah,
So within here, you can actually create a new space. I'm pretty sure.
it's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So if you create a space, then you have to go through
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of sort of hoops to be able to allow external people to view it. But you
Mm-hmm.
can make it so external, like emails and external
Mm-hmm.
people can view it. And then what you can do within here is you can chat, you can have shared documents, and then you can have tasks.
I wonder if I screwed it up because I didn't create it with manage space. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can click the box. People inside. Yeah. So I have to delete it. I think
But
I have to delete this because I didn't tick the box and it doesn't look like I can add it. Let me just
so
see this.
making it public is a whole thing. Like it's not simple.
Yeah.
One of the ways, if you could try this, I think doing it now is going to be difficult, but if you go into Gemini,
Oh,
I
it
want to
gets
show
an
you.
email too. Okay, go to Gemini. This guy?
No, 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 not there. So if you go to Gemini, what is it? Gemini.
This one?
It's not Gemini. It's the AI for Gemini Spaces.
Oh.
Gemini AI Studio. Gemini AI Studio is where you want to go. So
Mhm.
this is how I kind of figured it out. So it was, yeah, if you click there, no,
Mhm.
back. Gemini AI Studio is where you want. Yeah, this is it.
Mhm.
So
I'm
it's
gonna just try it. Let's see.
X out of here. Yeah, this is good. And then if you
Mhm.
go into stream, this is a really
Mhm.
cool feature. Then you can say share screen. So if you share the screen, you can share the screen. No, no, no. You got to press share screen down there. Yeah. And then you can share your screen and then you can ask questions. So this is how I figured out how to make it public because I couldn't do it by myself.
Man.
And you can talk to this and it will share the screen and it will walk you through it. Like doing it right now may be difficult, but it actually talks to you and sees your screen and tells you how to do it.
It's literally telling me, it's talking to me right now, and it's listening to me right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It works really
Yeah.
well. And you can talk to it. So it's like it's very human and it's improved. So yeah, this is
Yeah, it's very human. It legit is talking to me. Okay, I understand, right? Like that's pretty cool. Okay, I didn't know this existed. See, this is why we tinker together. Okay, very cool. Okay, so again, we've got lots of tools that we didn't know that we had, and we need to see if there's a better way. Very cool. I can generate media,
yep.
and here I can build an app. Great. More of these.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's been packed into Google.
Mhm.
Google Vids will now let you create like a video,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And yeah, there's just a lot of different tools that you can use. Some of them don't connect with other tools, which is strange, but
Mm. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Very interesting. And then you can enable saving, and I can just link it to my account.
Yep.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, in the meantime, right, you just have to commit to the process, right? Because there's clearly a lot of technology that you can leverage here. And then, of course, you go with things that you know, and then there's things that you don't know. The challenge, again, is what is the process that you're going to leverage until you figure out what that technology is? Because there are plenty of other apps out there too that are pre-built that have a lot of really great stuff. Like we're exploring Acello, and they're really great too. They've got a customer community, they've got all that stuff. But again, it's a matter of committing to the process of putting in the data, breaking down the project's tasks, putting in, updating the status on a regular basis, and having that centralized place where you're entering all the data. Doesn't matter where you do it, you just got to commit to doing it. That's
Mhm.
my whole thought, right? And then the outputs and the outcomes have to have a big enough payout for putting in all of that data. So that's kind of where I'm at. So, legit in chaos, it's hard to pull out of it if you, again, I think it's just a matter of just committing to the process. Like if you don't just commit to the process, that's when chaos reigns. And then I heard an interesting stat the other day. You spend 80% of your time on your operations and then 20% on your time on innovation. And if you can commit 20% of your time on innovation, that's wonderful. There's a lot of organizations that don't have any time to commit to innovation. And that 80% needs to be there because you need the engine to continue to run consistently on a regular basis. Otherwise, if you spend less time on your operations and more time on innovation, your business isn't running smoothly. So I don't I don't know. I'm thinking that's kind of a decent ratio of monitoring and running your business versus innovation.
For sure, for sure.
All right, let me know what you're going to present now. I want to check out that stuff.
Yeah, no, there was so in that similar vein
Hmm.
to like how much time you spent and what you do with your time, there was
Hmm.
actually a Hermosi
Yep.
video, which really I'll share this really quick. So this is a video. If you're struggling to focus, try my productivity system. So this one. And
Hmm.
this has been really helpful to me. And the gist of it is basically if you see in your calendar, there is a big empty space and you're not like reaching out to a client or whatever it may be. at that point, that's actually a really good thing. Because at that moment, if you have spaces on the calendar, that's where you're going to innovate.
Oh, that's great.
And that's like, to me, that's true. Like we were talking earlier, what's August? August is a difficult time to reach out to a lot of people. So
Yep.
it's a really good time to innovate and make sure that the product is clean and you're ready to go out and sell. You have all your, invoices and everything ready for outreach, templates, whatever it may be. And yeah, so this video actually really helped me a lot to focus and to realize that an empty space on the calendar doesn't mean that you're not working hard enough.
That's wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing because actually this week is a lot of white space for me. And I'm now thinking about, well, what projects do I really want to work on? Because I've got minimal, I'm just going to knock on wood right now while I say this out loud, right? The outreach is consistent enough where I, I actually don't want to do anymore. Like
Mhm.
I'm a little bit closed for new business right now. I'm closed for new business until the new year. So I'm really just cultivating my, like my processes and making sure that the clients that I do have are served really, really well. And yeah, and then there's actually new Salesforce clouds that I have to learn. One is asset service lifecycle, and the other one is automotive cloud. So I have to learn those two things in order to service these clients. So I've got two large clients that have come in that require this level of expertise. And if I don't level up, I'm not going to be able to deliver. So, and then same with my team. So we're in learning mode right now in order to deliver a really great product.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was super helpful. So
I
that was
really like that. Okay. So blank space.
yeah.
Time to assign that to the right projects.
And then
Cool.
the other thing on the same screen share was in my, so this is my website, and then I'm
Hmm.
consistently updating. So I have a backend to this website
Hmm.
here, which used to be my app. So I was creating an app, but what I'm using it now is for management of the playbooks that I've created, and then
That's
also
amazing.
analytics. So analytics is really cool. It's taking analytics from Google, so I can see like how many requests were made, and then I can see like scheduling. I can see how many people clicked and when they clicked
Hmm.
and like that kind of information, who clicked on what. So this is all information that I can see within the website. So, in talking about scaling, when you get, more people looking at, different pages and stuff like that, then you'll get more data. You'll have more information about your clients and what they're doing. And like this is keeping it in one place. And I just keep on building on that. So this has been I used Google Analytics to do this, and then I'm using Cursor to
That's
con-
great.
continuously build this out. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm using ChatGPT agent
Yeah.
continuously and kind of trying to see what the boundaries are of that. And
Great. Yeah. What did you find?
so there are boundaries. So like I said,
Hmm.
I want you ChatGPT agent, and I'm using the agent here. If you look here, I
Hmm.
said agent, and I said I want you to like clean up my folders in Google Drive. So
Hmm.
I want you to make them clean, and I don't want to like have to deal with it. And yeah, so then it's like doing stuff, but every time. So this is the issue that this is where as far as it can go. So it's asking me once it finds something to move for everything that it's asking me to move, I have to press move, which is super,
Oh, it's
which
like
is,
it really needs the human in the loop
which
to
is, which is,
confirm the action.
that's like way too much human in the loop. So I'm like,
Yeah.
every document that it has to move, it's saying, okay,
And then
can
it's
you,
thinking about it.
and then I'll just show you the one thing, what it's thinking. and then I'm pretty much done. But see, the user gave me control, and then I'm looking through the current screen, so it's looking through my documents and it's trying to put my documents in order. The trouble with it is like the human's too much in the loop. So every
Hmm.
time it gets a document, I said, you just decide. I don't want to decide. It's saying, okay, I'm going to move the document. Can we move it, please? And then can you take over and move it? It's like that's like
Stop asking my permission. Yeah, that's so
yeah.
funny. Wow. Well, it is. Oh, I accidentally navigated to the wrong sent folder and I need to go back. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, it's new. So I guess you just, what, got to keep doing it until it learns? Or how does it work? Or we wait until they develop?
Yeah,
What do
I
you
think
think is the gap here?
the key is to wait until they've developed. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's pretty amazing. It does a lot of really cool things. Like yesterday, I reached out and I was going to look for podcasts in Boston. So I asked it to look for the podcast. I asked it to look for the contacts. Then I asked
Mm-hmm.
it to create draft emails for me to send out to those individuals so I can get a meeting. And it did all that really well.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's limitations. So like each document, it's opening and checking and then moving to the folder, and it's just taking way too long and it's irritating. So
Yes. Okay.
so that's a limitation on what it can do. And yeah, so I'm doing actually
That's
a
really great.
whole series on this, looking more deep into like
That's a great idea.
what are the actual issues in terms of privacy and
Mm-hmm.
what guidelines have they instituted when we're giving them permission. So that's all stuff that I'm thinking of sort of expanding on
Hmm.
the next couple of weeks. But yeah.
Speaking of which, one of my things have been completed. So, okay, I'm gonna just do one more thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna do one more thing
yeah.
because on your on your talk track. Okay, so I've been using Manus quite a
Hmm.
bit, and I used it a few times. So, as part of this whole experimentation, I thought, could Manus create the statement of work for me? Can it do so? I've been using it all week to just, or all last week to see, and I've where it has kind of started to shine is I said I have to learn asset service lifecycle. Okay, so I gave it the materials that I need it to reference. I have to learn how to implement it, and then I have to teach others how to implement it. So I gave it a couple of artifacts. Really, it was just a developer guide and a demo guide that I got from a solution engineer. And it's creating this presentation for me to try to keep things really succinct. And this is just the first crack at it, which is interesting. And but I'm not getting okay, so this one's pretty cool. License assignment, asset record page, adding the components to the page layout. So I'm now going to see if this is going to help me implement it step by step. The other piece that I like creating is an implementation checklist. And we'll see what it creates for me. The other piece that it did for me was I had to deliver a presentation to a group of Salesforce users who are new to field service. So I sent in a bunch of documents, and because I've been in this field service expert space for so long, it's like, how do you circle back to the beginner's mindset? And this has been a very interesting piece. So hold on one second. This one, it created this template for me. And I delivered this as it was because I was like, I'm gonna just try it and see how it goes. And the feedback was it was a really decent presentation. So I have taken this since and I just cleaned it up a little bit because the icons, when I downloaded it as a PDF or as a PowerPoint, it kind of scrunched the icons and some icons were missing. So I just cleaned it up a bit, right? Like a technician, like some things were missing. But this worked out pretty well. I was impressed with what it put together for me in a first iteration. So I've been impressed with what Manus has been able to create for me. Oh, and then I was like, okay, I need an about me page. So it created a, where did the page go? Here. So I had to change this image to actually make it about me because that's not me. But I uploaded my resume and I said, okay, create an about me page. So now my presentation actually looks like introduction to field service. I downloaded it from here. And just with a little bit of polish and cleanup, I was able to create the presentation. So now this is going to be something that I'm going to be able to use going forward for just getting to know field service as a domain. And then I've got another one for getting started with field service, Salesforce field service. And now I'm looking to do the same thing for asset service lifecycle and the automotive cloud, just so that we can just create a really great first 10 steps in understanding this product.
Very cool.
Yeah. So I do like Manus. And what I've found interesting was I kept trying to download it and edit it instead of just say, hey, I don't really like this. Can you just like change this language and update this part? And it actually did a better job updating it than me trying to modify the formatting and all of that stuff. So sometimes it's just better to commit to the darn tool and let it learn. Like I would take a screenshot and say, oh, here's something that I was playing with yesterday too. So EOS, we finished reading the book Traction in book club. And I was like, I need a checklist, like some sort of cheat sheet.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I actually liked some of the things that it created for me. Some of it wasn't great. Like we've got words that it doesn't like to create, but I thought this was pretty cool, right? And I sent a screenshot like, this isn't working. And they said, oh, sorry about that. This is what it should really look like. So, right, when you commit to it and tell it what's wrong with it, it fixes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been really impressed with this one. And then this is the one that I ended up sticking with.
Hmm.
So, but a lot of it is not necessarily, I'm not where you're at, where you're actually asking the agent to do the work for you. That's, I really like where you're headed with all the stuff that you're doing. Like you're really heading into the agentic space.
Yeah. But yeah, again, it has its limitations. So I mean, just to see where those are
Mhm.
and then explore, for me at least, the different policies and what exactly they're taking in terms of data, what are the privacy policies and all that kind of stuff is super interesting to me.
Perfect. Cool.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. Well, I think, does that wrap it for our Civic Holiday edition of Tinker Club?
For sure. It was
All
fun.
right. Well, we are gearing up for some bike rides and for some long road trips. You're heading on a road trip. So we're in a little bit of a rest mode because we are planning on using August as a time to dig deeper into our businesses and our products and use this time to really move the needle forward while everybody is in vacay mode. So cheers to progress and innovation, and we will see you next time.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.